Yeah, Vortex here, back with a review of the BQEYZ BQ3, which is quite a mouthful. These are 5 drivers, so 3 balanced armatures and 2 dynamic drivers per side. And yeah, let's get into the unboxing. These have been on my radar for quite a while, and I've had them for a couple of months, and I'm finally getting around to do it. These looked quite promising. A few people who own these seem to like them, and I do like the K2 model and the KC2 model. And yet mine are the blue versions, but obviously on the actual packaging it's the black ones. So yeah, mine's a standard, so no microphone, and mine is the blue variant, which do look quite nice. Specs, obviously weight, cable length 1.2, plugs 3.5, 0.78 pin type, so you can use different cables. Frequency range, which is quite big. Impedance is 22 ohms and sensitivity is 95, which is kind of low. These do take a little bit more power than whatever you class as normal. A little bit harder to power, but they're not too bad at all. Packaging is slightly better than the K2 and the KC2s, as in you get a pouch, like a pouch carry bag, which you'll see in a bit. Same on the blue one, there's the tips. They're quite wide, which is a negative, which I'll speak to about in a bit. There's just the contents. It comes with medium tips fitted as, out of the box as normal. And those ones are a small pair and a large pair of tips. Nothing special there. Just going to pop one out now. They do have a really nice finish, but they are quite wide, which is unfortunately a negative. They say hybrid technology. There's L, recess 2-pin. Obviously there's some, some vents. Nothing special, but yeah, they do have 2 dynamic drivers per side, which is less common. Normally it's just 1 per side, and so many armatures for is what the normal hybrids tend to be. Just a quick skim through the manual, which is very not much information at all. Do not drive with headphones. That just the normal information, and that's it. That's all it is for English, and I'll just quickly skim over it for you. If you want to read this, you can always pause the video. It's probably always the best way. Just skim through and that's it. You get a QC certificate, which I don't think really matters. And this is the actual pouch and cable. I'll show you the pouch first. It's kind of nice, kind of like a suede-ish Alcantara material, and that's like the innards. It's not too bad. I don't know how many people have these. It's like the ones that come with the blonde series. I've never personally used one, but it's not a bad pouch. Cable is not that great. It's very similar to what you get with like the cheaper TRNs. They should come with a better cable, but they do sell a better cable, which is obviously no coincidence, but it's a bit like spaghetti. It gets tangled easy. Obviously 2-pin. That preformed ear guide works fine really. These aren't that great, but at least you get a working cable, and it's a right-angled connector, which I do like. So it's easier not to break it if it's a right-angled connector. So the tips, like I said before, these are just 2 large ones, if I can get it out, and 2 small, very generic tips. But then again, I didn't have any issues with these at all. They worked fine for me. They might work fine for you, but everybody's ears are different. Yes, so you get 2 pairs of small and 2 large. The mediums are fitted by a standard, which is very common. And actually, onto the review of these. These are actually pretty good, but they're actually quite odd issues with comfort. They're quite wide, and I can never really get I could get an okay fitment, but I think it's just the shell design isn't the best. It's probably a little bit too. It needs to be more ergonomic. It's just kind of like square, so it's nothing special. It feels bigger than the K2 or the KC2, or the angle of the nozzle. I'm not quite sure, but I don't think the comfort is great. You might have a better time than me, but the comfort to me wasn't great. That's what they look like. They do look very nice in the flesh, and that they are a good fitment. Sound, I found the tuning on these quite safe. These don't have the boosted upper mids. They do have a rise in it, but it's not really like overly aggressive. And the overall tuning of these, I think, was quite safe. Is probably the best way to describe it. I've tried it with a load of different music. These work well with EDM, trance, techno, things like that. Like, they really do pump. But I've tried this with like kind of jazz, pop. I found like for normal listening volume and genres, it was very easy to listen to. There's good details, a good separation, good stage. As an overall earphone, I found them to be pretty good. They're just a bit wide. If they put that in a smaller shell, it probably would have been quite good, really. Imaging was good. So, like I said, sensitivity isn't great, and isolation was okay. But the overall sound and tonality of these is a good word for it. Was good. Probably it's a little bit better than the K2 and the KC2, but they are cheaper. These do perform well. But I bought these for £35 and they aren't really worth more than that, because if you spend more they go into a different category. And yeah, just my conclusion of them, these are pretty good. Comfort's not the best. The shell design, the actual shape, I don't think is very good for the price. Like I said, I paid £35 for them. They're worth that, but they're not worth more, because the competition, which costs a little bit more, is superior. But for a 5-driver IEM, I think these are pretty good. And yeah, anything you want to let me know, just in the comments as usual. Thanks for watching and take care. See you soon.